Hi everybody, happy Saturday. Today we are talking about diet and longevity. So how do you eat smarter and live longer? So that's the subject of today. I'll let you guys start coming on. Hi Christine, hello. I hope you're having a great Saturday. A lot going on in my life right now. I'm so happy to be here with you all. Thank you all so much. So today's subject is nutrition and longevity. We got a lot of diet fads going on right now. I'm going to cut through all the bullshit and just tell you what really works, what the science is, and what are the manufacturers saying that's making them a ton of money while it's expanding our waistline. So it's all about how do you eat smarter and live longer. So that's what we're talking about today. Okay, so first of all, for those of you who keep giving me the well wishes for my family stuff that's going on, thank you so much. I'm in the thick of it still. It's going to be a long process. So I'm doing the best I can to handle the stress load that I'm faced with right now. But if you missed those live shows that I did on stress and another one I did on sleep, those are highlighted in my story under live shows. Make sure you check those out. Okay, somebody just said what happened. I'm having some family issues. I've got 4 children, all in their 20s. And one of my children is just not in a good place right now. And we have a major health scare, among other things. So I'm dealing with that the best I can. So make sure you check out those live shows because those are real science-based techniques that help you de-stress in real time. But today we're talking about nutrition and longevity and how do we eat smarter and live longer. It's certainly not by following what the standard American diet is. So what is nutrition? Nutrition encompasses everything. When I talk about diet and nutrition, it's encompassing everything related to intaking nutrients and how they help us grow and maintain our muscle mass and repair our body. So it's for everything that goes on with what our body needs. So it's vitamins, minerals, proteins, carbohydrates, fats. They each play this unique role in our bodily functions. And nutrition, believe it or not, involves various component parts like the micros, right? We're hearing these buzzwords a lot. Are you tracking your micros? Those are the proteins, the fats, and the carbohydrates. So when you look at like the micronutrients, we're looking at carbs, proteins, and fats. Now, this is going to give you a little heads up on where this lecture is going. This is completely wrong. Completely wrong. And here's why. And then I'm going to get into this a little bit later, okay? But I want to just let you guys know, for those of you who are tracking your carbs and you're tracking your proteins and you're tracking your healthy fats, I want you to look at this diagram. You see this overlay where they're saying carbs, because remember carbs are not only starchy carbs, but carbohydrates are fruits and vegetables as well. And look at this overlay between the carbohydrates and the proteins and the fats. They're saying that this is what we should be considering when we're talking about protein. And I'm here to tell you, folks, everything on this entire sheet has protein. Everything, even the coffee you're drinking, even the coffee that I'm drinking right now. I'm breaking my fast today with my mushroom coffee. Even mushroom coffee has protein in it. Everything that we consume, everything we put in our body is made up of protein. Some have higher levels of protein than others, but when you're tracking your macros, when other health coaches tell you you need to get 20% of your calories from protein or 30% of your calories from protein, we're not taking into account all of the other types of protein that we get from just literally eating. You'll have to excuse the noise because I've got some workers on the other side that are installing the toilet paper holders and towel racks and things like that in my daughter's bathroom. For those of you who know, I just moved to a new house as well. So, talk about a major stress. That's a major stress. So this kind of gives you an idea of where I'm headed with this lecture. If you are somebody that tracks your macros, you need to stay tuned, okay? Because I'm going to completely throw all of this out the window with what I'm talking about today. And this is about diet, nutrition, and longevity. How do you live longer? It's not by tracking your macros, and it's not by consuming as much protein as you possibly can. It's in fact the exact opposite of that. So stay with me, everybody, okay? So why is diet and nutrition so important? There's that saying, we are what we eat, and that is absolutely true. We are what you eat, so you can affect a lot of different things by just the food that you are consuming. Nutrition plays a vital role in preventing diseases. So cardiovascular disease, we oftentimes look at food and we're like, what's causing my heart health? What's causing my bones to weaken? What's causing this? But food is medicine. So by incorporating certain foods, it plays a vital role in your brain health, in your heart health, in the health of your bones. It's absolutely necessary, right? Crucial metabolic health, joints, ligament health, all of it. A healthy diet can extend your lifespan. So if you think that what you're putting in your body is not going to contribute to how long you're on this planet, you're wrong. What you put in your body has a direct effect on how long you're on this planet. And not only that, but those quality years. So not only the lifespan, but the health span. How many years are you on this planet functioning and happy and healthy and mobile, right? And pain-free and free of age-related diseases? That you can gain and extend that through food. It's really powerful. But just as food can be medicine, it can also be poison. And that's what I'm going to talk a little bit about today. Oh my gosh, please excuse the hammering from next door. Let me just take a little sip of mushroom coffee. Hi, everybody. I love seeing these same people on here. I have my regulars, which I love. I so appreciate you. I appreciate you guys being here. You could be anywhere on Saturday, but you're right here in my house with noise going on next door. Okay. That's good. Guess what I just drank? Protein. Protein's in everything, you guys. Protein is in everything. Okay, so a healthy diet can not only extend the amount of years that you have on the planet, but those number of healthy years, right? So as a health coach, my job, I feel, is to kind of flatten that curve of what happens when we age. As a gerontologist, I study the aging process. So there are those normal physical and cognitive declines that happen with age that can be affected by the food you eat, that can be affected by your lifestyle, right? I appreciate you too. Raven House. Wow, there's no way I'm going to get that one. But I appreciate you too. Thank you so much. So it does increase your longevity. Food can increase your longevity. It can reduce your risk of developing age-related diseases such as cardiovascular disease, such as osteoporosis, cognitive decline. All of these can be affected throughout our lifespan with the food that we are eating. I love that you're the first time watching, Zool. Thank you so much. Well, welcome to the show. You're going to see that it is cram-packed with a lot of information, and some of it doesn't line up with other health coaches. That's okay. I look at the science. Greetings, Paraguay. I look at the science, and that's what I think has been beneficial to me, because I started out as a holistic nutrition and health coach. And then at the age of 53, I went back to school. I'm 55 right now. I have a master's in psychology. I have a master's in gerontology. The psychology of aging and the psychology of diet and nutrition is going to blow your mind. And I'm going to get into that next. These diet trends that we're having, how manufacturers kind of mess with our brain to get us to buy more, to get us to eat more. I'm glad you're excited. You're going to learn a lot. Okay, so hang on with me, okay? If you're one of those that are tracking your macros, I'm going to throw all that crap out the window. If you're somebody who's worried about getting so much protein, I'm going to throw all of that out the window, okay? Hang on with me. We know that we can affect our lifespan. We know we can affect our health span. All you have to do is look to the blue zones, you guys, to see that this is the case. If you guys saw that documentary on Netflix, I think it was Live to Be 100, and I've been on a couple different talk shows on TV for talking about that and my take about that, and how do you live to be 100 and look and feel and function your best while doing so. a lot of it has to do with food, right? Lifestyle choices, of course, but food. And if you look at the blue zones, they're not on high protein diets, you guys. They're not eating protein bars and protein powders. They're just not. That's not what's happening. That's not what the science is saying. And that's not what the reality of these centenarians is showing us around the world. We're in the middle of like just marketing being bombarded at us. And I say to us, but it's like at us. It's like it becomes so confusing, right? So when we're planning a diet and we're wanting to make sure that we're getting all of our, hi for craft's sake, I love seeing you here every week. But when we're making sure that we're getting all of those nutrients, we need all of the nutrients, right? We're just looking in the wrong places. And we're focusing so much attention on making sure that we're getting all of this stuff in, that we're eating a lot more than what we normally would be eating, okay? So does diet affect your skin health? I like literally just looked at this bottle of collagen. It's my liquid collagen that's skin. This is by Modera. If you want this link, just DM me the word collagen. But when you're looking at ingesting stuff to make your skin better, to make you look younger, to make you look more youthful, to increase the elasticity in your skin and the moisture in your skin, can you do that through food? Yes, you can. And here's the way to be able to tell. Christine, thanks so much. For those of you who don't drink, I don't drink anymore. I loved my cocktails, man. I loved my cocktails for decades. Loved my cocktails. And I was a health coach. So I made up for it. But when I gave up alcohol, guess what happens? Waist shrinks, inflammation goes down, skin gets better. So if you can negatively or positively affect your skin by giving up stuff, you can also affect your skin by adding things like a hydrolyzed collagen, right? Like predominantly plant-based diets, by stripping stuff out. We're going to get to all of that stuff. So this is not just about living longer, although we all want to live as long as we can, right? I want to live to be 120. I would love to live to be 120. But if I'm going to be honest, I want to make sure that I feel and I function, and to be brutally honest, I want to make sure I look the best that I can while living to be 120. Does that make sense, everybody? The food is a major component in that, okay? So this is the problem that I'm finding these days, and it's so frustrating. Hi, Jeannie Marie. It's so frustrating because we are completely bombarded with conflicting, information. How many of you have heard health coaches saying that you need to be eating at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight? Have you heard that? I've heard as high as 2 grams of protein per pound of body weight. I'm telling you, that's not going to keep you on the planet the longest. And you're going to end up hurting your liver and your kidneys. I'm just telling you, this is what the science is saying. High protein diets, when you look at the blue zone, that's not what's going on there. That's not what's going on in all of these multiple blue zones around the world. The thing that they have in common is a predominantly plant-based diet that's a little bit low in protein. So we have to think about this. Why are we in America, and those of you who are not in America, welcome to the American Standard Diet. It sucks. But for those of you who are not in America, welcome to this is what we are bombarded with. And tomorrow I'm going to do the show again at 11. But I'm going to do it in my kitchen. We're going to cook something. We're going to talk about food in a different way. I'm going to show you some protein sources. I'm going to show you different things. And that'll be tomorrow's show. But we're going to get through this first, okay? There's so much conflicting evidence, even by health coaches. Oh, you health coaches out there, you got to keep learning, right? Germany's the same. Wow. You got to keep learning because longevity and health is a moving target. There's always new science coming out. There's always new things that they're finding about food. There's always new bullshit that we're cutting through that manufacturers and big pharma companies and big food companies are pushing down our throats. No pun intended. But pushing down our throats to get us to buy more and eat more, all in the name of health. Okay, so diets don't work. Diet trends are not good. There's a quote that says, to what length will people go to achieve their desired figure, right? That's just looking at the outside, not thinking about the inside. But at what lengths will people go to get their desired figure? And then there's another thing that says, it says, as a professor of nutrition and eating behavior, so this is one of my professors, my sense of history of diet shows vanity outweighs common sense. We are in an age where vanity is outweighing common sense. If you missed that live show I did on the Ozempic weight loss shot and Wegovy, make sure you check out that live show. All of my live shows, you guys, are highlighted in my reels under live shows. If you can't find it there, if you can't, thank you so much, Maury Jimmy. If you can't find my live show in a highlighted reel, please DM me. And I will make sure that I scroll down on all my feed, go through my reels, find that reel for you. I will put it in my story and highlight it so it will be in there, because it's something that I kind of started doing just recently because a lot of people were asking, where do we find this in your feed? So my live shows have a different type of thumbnail. You'll see a lot of green and some more of a different type of thumbnail. And it has the live right there. But also you can find those from my highlighted shows. So if you missed that show I did on the weight loss shots, Ozempic and Wegovy, make sure that you check out that live show, okay? So diets don't work. And we're really kind of, when we fall for these diet trends, at what cost are we thinking about our vanity? And we're affecting our health in a negative way just to be able to fit into a certain jean size or to be able to, feel good about ourselves. We got to rework this, you guys. You were one of the few people that make science first, because otherwise, look who we're listening to if we're not listening to the science. We're listening to the people that make the food. Show me the last commercial on broccoli, right? When have you ever seen a commercial on like green beans or lima beans or, They're not. These are processed foods that we're having bombarded with marketing. People are making money while we're getting fat. That's just the truth. The diet industry is a multi-trillion-dollar industry. A multi-trillion-dollar industry. And if diets worked, we'd all be skinny, right? And all these companies, the Weight Watchers and the Jenny Craigs of the world, they would all be out of business because there'd be no repeats. Have you ever met a friend that said, she's 55 like me, and she said, yeah, I'm going to do micro. I'll talk about, could I get that poster size? So Oreo cows, for those of you who are talking about the skincare part of what I do and you're wanting these kind of protocols, when I post this to my main feed, all you have to do is DM me or put in the comment of any video I do skincare protocol, and you'll get the weekly protocol. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that as well tomorrow. I might microneedle tomorrow and give that content to my subscribers, and then you guys will join me in the kitchen, and we will continue to talk about this whole concept of diet and nutrition and longevity. Okay, so that's tomorrow, but let's get back to today. So if the Jenny Craigs and Weight Watchers of the world worked, you go in one time and you'd be done. Have you ever met anybody that went to Weight Watchers one time and all of a sudden all of their metabolic health was fixed? Oprah's metabolic health isn't even fixed, and she owns 1.1 million shares of Weight Watchers. And she's just come out with this special on March 18th. It's called Shame, Blame, and the Weight Loss Revolution. And it's going to be on ABC, March 18th. Oprah uses Ozempic. She says for maintenance, it doesn't matter what it's for. Oprah, who is a major owner of Weight Watchers, uses Ozempic for weight management. I'm not shaming. I love Oprah, by the way. I love Oprah. It's been interesting and tragic and humbling and how you name the adjectives, watching her go through her weight struggles and then to become such a big shareholder in Weight Watchers and that system not working. You guys, there should be like red alarms going off everywhere. Oh my God, if Oprah, if Weight Watchers is not working for Oprah, how is it not, it's not working for anybody. Have you ever met somebody that went once and it was fixed? No. So make sure you watch that live that I did on the weight loss shot, as well as my version, which I don't think I have my products up here. Oh yeah, I do. I have some of them. I don't have the Meta Health, but oh yeah, I do. My version of a more natural way for weight loss. This mimics the weight loss shot in a natural way. It's a probiotic. It's 3 products: a probiotic, a fiberline, and a Meta Health, which has berberine in it. I did the whole live show with Matt Major, who is a vitamin specialist expert. And these are the products that we came up called the Ozempic Weight Essential Bundle. So you can do it more naturally without getting a shot. So if you want this, you just DM me the words "no shot," all right? Or put it in the comment section after I post this, "no shot," and you'll get like 20% off this bundle, and that link will be sent to you. Okay, so that said, there's a long, strange, crazy history of dieting and diet fads, right? They don't have these in the blue zones. No, they don't have these in the blue zones. They don't. And this isn't something that I do, you guys. This is something that if you want to lose weight in a natural way without getting the Ozempic shot, this is what you do to get you back metabolically healthy. Then we get you off this stuff and get you eating right. That's what I do as a health coach. I don't want to sell you products. Tracy, when I post this to my main feed, put that in the comment section, "no shot," and you'll get the thing. This is for people that when you have a resting glucose level of like 90, so like a fasting glucose level, when you go to the doctor, you get your blood drawn, and you've got a glucose level, you haven't had anything in your system, right? Because you're fasting, it's in the morning, and your blood glucose level is over 90, you're in metabolic distress. This is what the no shot Ozempic Weight Essential Bundle is for, okay? That's what that's for. That's not something that I take normally on a daily basis. You're awesome. Thank you for the great information. Yay. Okay. So long history of diets. The first diet, started in 1864. William Bantings. He did this publication where it was a diet low in bread and sugar and potatoes and high in meat, fish, and vegetables. That was like the first known diet. 1864. There's been a bunch of other diets since then. The liquid diets, the apple cider vinegar diet, these cleanses and detoxes, the master cleanse, which aims to get rid of toxins, the green juice cleanse, the grapefruit thing. The celebrities have been all over it. The Lord Bryan's vinegar water diet, the 48-hour miracle diet, grapefruit diet, peanut butter diet, cabbage soup diet. Come on. Our obsession with weight loss is not helping us. How long have I been exercising? Since I think I came out of the womb. Movement and exercise is a part of my life. That is not the best way to lose weight. The best way to lose weight is a combination, but it's really heavily on what you're consuming in your body, what you're putting into your body. Okay, that said, these miracle fad diets, they don't work. Did anybody fall prey? Here's me raising my hand. In the 80s, the low fat, no fat, all of that packaging that came out. I was in high school. This tells you how long I've been in this world of health and wellness when I was in high school. I fell prey to the no fat, low fat, and it's not like I was overweight in high school. I was a competitive cheerleader. That wasn't what the issue was. It's just like, it interested me. It was of great interest to me what food does, and how to trick yourself, your body, and your health, and your skin, and everything into behaving like it can optimally. Now at 55, optimally is not 55 in terms of metabolic processes. That's when you're younger. So now I'm tricking my body to behave like it did when it was younger. But I fell for those 1980s low fat, no fat thing, and gained a ton of weight on non-fat Fig Newtons. right? Yes to the low fat, no fat in the 80s. It was crazy because they just packed in the sugar. The reason why I'm bringing this up, you guys, is I want you to make that connection. Because a lot of the people on here grew up in the 80s, right? Sometimes it feels like you've been doing this for so long. It's never too late to the rest of it. It's never too late. Listen, here's going to be the key. And then we're going to move on because I'm going to tell you what I do, okay? What you do right now, what you're doing right now affects your aging process. What you consume today and how you are affecting your metabolic health has a direct link to how you're going to age. What your skin's going to look like, what your waistline's going to look like, what you're going to feel like, how your metabolism functions. It's directly related to how long you're on the planet and the health of those years in which you are on the planet. Directly related. It's never too late to live young. It's never too late. Start now. Start right now. If you walk away from this lecture or whatever you want to call it, this Instagram live, and you change a few things in what you're eating, my job as a health coach has been done. Yay! And you can. You have the ability to change things. But what does that start with, my friends? It always starts with knowledge. Cut through the bullshit and learn to understand what's being marketed to us and what's real science. And health coaches, all my health coaches out there, please, I'm begging you, don't stop learning because you're teaching diet fads right now. The science doesn't back it up. You're regurgitating the fads. That's not helping our clients. I have 2 meals a day for who somebody just asked. And I'm going to get into that. Okay, so like I said, if the diet industry worked, Jenny Craig's and the Weight Watchers of the world would be broke and we'd all be skinny. So we know that they don't work. The Atkins diet, the South Beach diet. I mean, there's so many things. This is just even in the 80s. The Paleo diet. It includes eating meat and fish and eggs and fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds, herbs and spices, as well as healthy fats and oils. I want you guys to think about this for a second. This is a paleo diet. Foods to avoid include processed foods, sugar, soft drinks, artificial sweeteners, and trans fats. Sounds great, right? The diet suggests limiting grains, mostly dairy, and legumes. I don't agree with the legumes things. Grains depend. It depends on, there's ancient grains and quinoa and things like that are really good for you. So in theory, it seems good, right? However, there's no limit to animal products, which is directly linked to cardiovascular health. And some dieters think that this is an opportunity to eat bacon at every meal and to order that 8 to 10 to 12 ounce steak. And what happens is, yes, you lose weight. This is the key. This is very important. If you've been on a paleo diet and you've lost weight, I want you to think about what food has been crowded out. I want you to think about this. Because when you are on one of these diets and you know that I can eat fish and meat and eggs and dairy, I can eat all of this stuff. And therefore, I want to eat all of that stuff. It's the same thing with a high protein diet. Let's get this all in. What foods are crowded out? If you're used to eating everything coming out of a box or a bag, something that's processed, fast food, all of that stuff, and you decide, I'm going to go on a paleo diet, guess what? You're going to lose weight. Yay! But that doesn't mean you stay on that diet. That doesn't mean that you just continue to eat animal products like it's going out of style. No, that's not what that means. You will lose weight. A lot of it's water weight. A lot of it is because you've reduced your sugar. So guess what meat has? The processed food. Let me reverse that. Guess what meat doesn't have that processed food has? Meat doesn't have sugar. Meat doesn't have sugar. So you consume bacon, you consume all this stuff, your arteries are going to look like crap. But that said, you are going to lose weight because you've replaced the junk food, that processed food, with meats. It doesn't mean it's going to make you live longer. You've just lost a little bit of weight. When you lose that weight, now we got to really think about, okay, what is really going to be optimally healthy for me? And that's what the main thing is, right? You do not need to buy a product that says paleo on it. If you're buying a product that says keto friendly or paleo friendly, you just got tricked by the marketing. I'm gonna repeat that. If you're buying a product, let's say a box of cereal. I don't believe in cereal unless it's dessert, to be honest with you, because that's what it is. That's what it turns to in your body. Even granola, right? Yeah, you can get the nuts and seeds and all of that. You can get a really good granola, but I use that as a snack at night because the way that your body processes that. I just saw one of my friends. Thank you so much. The way your body processes that is basically junk food, right? It's basically junk food. So we got to think about this. If you're buying a cereal that says paleo friendly or keto friendly, you just got duped. You just got duped. Okay, does that make sense? Does that make sense, everybody? So can you lose weight if you cut out sugar and processed food and eat only bacon every day? You can. You can lose weight eating only bacon if it means that you've replaced that processed sugar-laden stuff with bacon. Is that the way to live longer? No, it's not. When you put it that way, does it make sense? Does it make sense? Okay, the keto diet, right? It's a low-carb, high-fat diet. Do you think that we need to have a coffee that says, sorry, my things, I put it in the dishwasher and I shouldn't have. You think you should have a coffee that says keto-friendly coffee, and that's going to make you drink that because it's got certain oils in it? No. Your body is in a state of ketosis when it's in a state of deprivation. When you wake up in the morning and you're intermittent fasting, you haven't had anything and you go and work out, and then you have your food at 1 o'clock and you're burning that energy to be able to work out. Your body is in a state of ketosis, because a state of ketosis means you're utilizing fat for energy. Sorry about the pounding. You're utilizing fat for energy. You don't have to buy a product. You don't have to buy a product. You just have to stop eating a little bit. Get in a timed eating zone. That's how your body is in a state of ketosis, not because you're buying a keto-friendly product, keto-friendly granola. No, there's no such thing as keto-friendly granola. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. Your body doesn't work that way, okay? What we need to do when we're in a state of ketosis, like I told you, when we want to be keto, when we're working on burning that fat, is you are in times of deprivation. Let your body reach into its fat cells for energy. That's being in a state of ketosis. Not I'm going to feed it extra oil in here so I'm utilizing this fat. That's not how the human body works. Not how the human body works. So you don't need keto-friendly or paleo-friendly power bars. You don't need keto-friendly, paleo-friendly pasta. It doesn't make sense. Gluten-free, gluten does in a lot of people cause inflammation. So, and there is celiac disease, which you need to really stay away from gluten. I try to limit my gluten, not because I have celiac disease, but because it is known to cause inflammation in the body. So I try to do things more like sourdough breads and things like that don't have, they're more fermented. They don't have as much gluten. Or you can do things like the Ezekiel breads that don't have gluten in them. And that is just like a general thing. But does it make you buy a product when they put gluten-free on it? Even if you don't have celiac disease? That's what marketing shows. That's what it does. That's exactly what it does. We see these stickers, keto-friendly, high protein, 20 grams of protein, paleo-friendly, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, this is healthy. You know that the one of the most unhealthy places to shop for health foods is in a health food market? The reason is because our brains, this is where the psychology comes in, makes us believe that if we're at a health food store, that everything in there is healthy, and it's not. Your body can't really tell the difference I mean, we can in terms of cancer and oxidative stress and things like that. But when you're looking at something that's like let's say a keto friendly organic granola versus a General Mills like granola, your body can't tell the difference. Just turns to sugar. Your body can't tell the difference. Okay, when we're talking about vegan and plant-based, this is not really a diet fad. It's more of a way of eating. I am not vegan, although I have dabbled in it a little bit. I am predominantly plant-based. So I eat as much, and I'll get to this a little bit later, as many vegetables as I can possibly consume in a day, followed by small amounts of meat. That's my norm. That is my normal thing. Okay. Interesting that there's this big thing about like, if you're vegan or you're predominantly plant-based, where are you getting your protein? Oh my God, where are you getting your protein? You know that lima beans have 11.6 grams of protein in a cup. Soybean sprouts, 9.2. Green peas, 8.6 grams of protein in a cup. Sweet corn, 4.7. Asparagus, 4.3. Brussels sprouts, 4. Broccoli, 3.7. It goes on and on and on and on. Because guess what, you guys? Protein is not here. Protein is everything we consume. Everything. Broccoli has protein. Asparagus has protein. So when you get a health coach that says, are you counting your macros and you're only looking in this little teeny small area and you're not looking at this, you're not really counting how much protein that you're getting. When was the last time, I dare you to ask your doctor next time you're there, when was the last time you treated somebody for protein deficiency? He's going to say never. All you have to do to get the protein you need is eat food. We're going to get to that. First, I'm going to talk about these macros. Counting macros has become a trend. It's become a trend, but I want you to think about what this does to you. Psychology, the psychology of eating. What does this do? We're continually focused on food. It's not just intuitive eating where I'm hungry, I'm going to eat something that I know is healthy for me, predominantly plant-based. I'm going to get as much fiber as I can. I'm going to drink a lot of water. No, it's like now we have to count the grams of what we're getting. What does this do? Everything that is going in your mouth, you're thinking about it. You're thinking about it. That's not a healthy relationship with food. It's not a healthy relationship with food. Okay, so the macros, Cedars-Sinai blog. I got this from a Cedars-Sinai blog. Cedars-Sinai, for those of you who don't live in LA, is the best hospital in Los Angeles. Well, arguably the best hospital in Los Angeles, and they've got a blog. And it says the Cedars-Sinai blog, this is considered the best hospital. Counting your macros has become a diet trend in recent years. It's true. The term used to describe three major types of food groups, which run your body on carbohydrates, fats, and proteins. These are macros. Carbohydrates, fats, proteins. I wish I would have flipped this so you guys could see it, but this chart is wrong, right? This chart is wrong. This is not only the protein. Protein's even in this coffee that I'm drinking. So why would you want to drive yourself nuts with counting all of this protein? Your doctor hasn't treated anybody from a low protein. And lower protein diets will make you live longer because guess what? Excess protein is stored not in your muscle. Excess protein is stored as fat. Anything that don't put food in good categories or bad, unless it's processed. Processed food, categorizing food like this makes no sense to me unless we're talking about real food, which everything on here is real food. Single ingredient, real food. Doesn't come in a box or a bag. You got to pick it from the earth. You have to catch it. You got to pluck it. This is real food, okay? It doesn't come in a box or a bag. It's single ingredient foods. There's no bad or good single ingredient foods. It's the processed stuff, right? So counting your macros, that chart is just completely wrong. And this is how most health coaches teach, because you want the good proteins, right? You want, everything has proteins. Everything has proteins. There's 20 amino acids that make up the protein in the human body. 9 of them are essential. Only 9, right? Because we get those through food. The rest of them we make ourselves. Look at how amazing our bodies are. The rest of them we make ourselves. That is fantastic. And like, I can't even begin to tell you like how that is just, I think it's amazing. It's amazing. We only need 9 amino acids from food. The rest we make in our bodies, right? We make 7 different types of protein. The most abundant type of protein is type 1 collagen protein. That's the most abundant type of protein in our body, because it's all the connective stuff, right? It's all the connective stuff. Okay, so please, if you learned nothing else, free yourself from counting your macros. Free yourself from counting your macros. Just eat real food, single ingredient food. We can worry about that proportion later, but if you just switched from processed food that comes in boxes or bags and fast food, and you switch to single ingredient foods, you're going to lose weight. You're going to lose weight. And I don't mean lose weight to be aesthetically a certain way. I mean to get down to your fighting weight of metabolic health. That comes in multiple different sizes, you guys. Multiple different sizes. This is not weight management, and like, you know, being a healthy weight is not a cookie cutter type of science. Every body is different. Every body is different. So why do we need to get a certain amount of protein and a certain amount of this and a certain amount of that? Everybody's different. Everybody's activity level is different. Everybody's age is different. Everybody's lifestyle is different. I can tell you, in the stress that I've been going through right now in my family situation, on top of moving, which is also high stress, I've had to up my protein level a little bit, because what we learned in the stress live that I did is that your digestion is affected by stress, right? If your sympathetic nervous system is in a fight or flight mode in times of high chronic stress, which I have high chronic stress right now, even as a health coach, you guys, life happens to health coaches too, right? It happens to all of us. High stress situations happen to all of us. And in times of high stress, your digestion shuts down a little bit. It's difficult for me to eat when I'm in high stress. And yeah, I'm using all those tools that I did on that live. I'm using that physiological breath. I'm using the scented candles. I'm using the frequency, right? I'm sleeping better. I'm eating predominantly plant. I'm doing everything I can. I'm doing yoga. I'm meditating. I'm doing the breath work to de-stress. So I know I'd be in a lot worse shape if I didn't utilize those tools that we learned in that live show on stress reduction right now. But that said, your digestion slows, right? When you're in stress mode, your digestion slows. It's more difficult to eat. And so what I'm going to go back and look at these questions in a second. What I have learned in this last month especially is I have to up my protein a tiny bit, because my overall consumption of food has gone down due to stress. Does that make sense, everybody? But in general, to think about how many macros did you get of protein? How many macros did you get of carbohydrate? You're messing with your psychology and your relationship with food. That's what it's doing, and it's not to your benefit. It's not to your benefit. Okay, so let's keep going. Let's talk about the high protein diet fad we're on, because we are. I guarantee you, talk to me in 10 years, you guys are going to be like, oh my God, she was right. I'll still be here, I hope. The reason you can kind of tell this is look at the marketing. Why are they putting the grams of protein big on the front of a pasta, on dried pasta in a supermarket? That to me is like a ding, 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 ding. Wait a second. Why are they trying to get me to buy this because it's high protein? Yeah, that's exactly what they're trying to do. That's exactly what they're trying to do. Get you to buy things. Okay, so if we're talking about the recommended daily allowance, of protein. Harvard Health, so Harvard Medical School, they suggest 0.36 grams of protein per weight in body pound. So you guys, if you're taking notes, you can write that one down. I think I'll put that in the caption too. 0.36 grams of protein per pound of body weight. So not 1 gram, that's like almost a third of what we're being told, right? We're being told 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. That's ludicrous. I'm sorry. Unless you are, a linebacker for the 49ers or something. I don't know. If you're a competitive athlete and you are training your body like crazy, then by all means, get that 1 to 2 grams of protein per body pound, because you're needing that. You're in the gym working that, and you're needing that kind of protein level, right? Muscles are not made in the kitchen, folks. There's no amount of protein that you can consume that is going to build muscle mass. It doesn't work that way. You got to get all this protein in, got to get all this protein in. It's like a precursor for when you do get in the gym to be able to build muscle mass. Otherwise, it goes for all different types of bodily functions that are happening, and we're making most of them in our body ourselves, and it's in every single food we eat. So, medically, 0.36 by Harvard is what they're saying. 0.36 grams. So you would take 0.36 times your weight in your pounds. If you weigh 120 times 120. If you weigh 110, 1. If you weigh 150 times 1. That's the amount of protein that is the recommended daily allowance. But when you're looking at, and there's a calculator that you can use too. There's a USDA online calculator. And I'll try to see if I can get that. I can put that I'll try to see if I can maybe put that in a story with a link. But there is a way to calculate how much protein that you need every day. But Harvard Health is saying 0.36. Again, if you're older, you want to increase a little bit. If you are a competitive athlete, you want to increase a little bit. But when you're looking at people like Dr. Walter Longo, who's one of my professors at USC, who's the head of the Longevity Center at USC, where he's advocating for a low protein diet. And why do we think that would be? By low protein diet, if you look at his Prolon 5-day fast mimicking diet, so he advocates for fasting, which I do too. I've been intermittent fasting for 30 plus years. I don't eat breakfast. My body works fine like that. It took me a long time to get used to it, but you'd be shocked at how easy it is to incorporate. The longevity diet, when we're looking at Longo's work and other longevity scientists, and we're really looking at the science, and we're then comparing it to Blue Zone type of information, the longevity diet is 0.31 to 0.36 grams of protein per pound of body weight. For me, I'm around, that equates to about 35 grams of protein a day. Think about this, you guys. That equates to me for only about 35 grams of protein a day. I can get that with my eyes closed without even thinking about it, because protein is in everything that we eat. Can I get 35 grams of protein? I need to throw on some lentils and throw on some garbanzo beans and some seeds on a salad and get enough protein. Ask your doctor, when was the last time they treated somebody for protein deficiency? Doesn't happen. All you have to do is eat. Drug addicts, people who are malnourished, people who are like, if you've got an eating disorder, if you are not well physically, if you've got something, you're suffering from cancer or things like that, can't keep things down, you can become malnourished. Those are when protein is low. But for just an average person who's walking through life wondering, what the hell do I eat? Stop counting your macros. Give up the processed food, okay? So that 0.31 to 0.36, that's about where I am in terms of my protein. recently because of my stress. I've kind of like, yeah, eating disorders is a big problem, Christine. When you're so obsessed with counting stuff, it's going to contribute, if you've got a pre-existing or you have suffered in the past, that psychology of just focusing on food. Instead, focus on your body. What does your body feel like it needs right then? And no, I don't mean feels like it needs cupcakes. I don't mean that. I mean like, wait until you feel the sensations of hunger instead of, oh, I got to get in my 30 grams of protein at each meal. That's going to cause you to eat more. Does that make sense, everybody? It's going to cause you to eat more. Okay. So I am around, so the 1 gram of protein per day, that would mean I'm at 110 pounds, you guys. I'm small. I'm a very small person. Don't compare yourself to what somebody else weighs. Not a bit. I'm just telling you in terms of like what you would think in looking at me. 1 gram of protein is 110 grams. 1 gram of protein per pound is 110 grams of protein for me. I would have to be purposefully eating more protein to get to that level. And guess what? That's exactly what they want you to do. When they're advertising protein on the side of a pasta bag, they're trying to get you to eat it. Trying to get you to eat more protein. The daily longevity diet for adults by Walter Longo. I suggest you guys look that book up. Look at some of his research in terms of longevity and a lower protein diet. Now, I'm not saying that you have to do what I do, which I'll do like a 5-day fast mimicking diet a couple times a year. I wouldn't do it now because I wouldn't do it in times of stress or if there's other things going on in your life. But I do that a couple times a year, and then I have done intermittent fasting for 30 plus years. So we can go a little bit more into that, but in terms of that longevity diet, he focuses more on like limiting your fish intake and focusing on foods high in omega-3s and omega-6, and it's mostly vegan, but it's in keeping that protein intake into a low intake unless you're over the age of 65, so I've got about 10 years for that, over the age of 65, or those who are literally like you're wanting to bulk up and be strong because you're a competitive athlete. I look at myself as I'm kind of a competitive athlete. I'm in the gym, I'm lifting weights, I'm doing yoga, I'm strong on a low protein diet because protein comes from everywhere, and muscles are not made in the kitchen. Muscles are made in the gym. Muscles are made in the gym. Okay. So low protein diet generally means 20 to 50 grams of protein per day. It depends on how many calories you consume. That low protein diet, that low from the 20, that's like some people that have issues. Like they've got genetic issues where they can't really process protein. But if you just look at the protein intake from the blue zones, it's nowhere near what we are saying that it should be. What health coaches are preaching, the 1 gram per body pound, the up to 2 grams per body pound. This is absolutely insane to me. And it's not good for your body. So there's a lot of different stuff that can happen. Yes, we need it. We want to make sure we're not protein deficient, but not a lot of protein deficient people in America. And so I am not somebody as a gerontologist and healthy aging coach and holistic nutrition and health coach. I absolutely do not track my protein because I know I'm already getting enough. Okay. So what are the risks of having too much protein? Those people that are like making protein powders and they're having their shake and they're doing all of this stuff that has all this protein and they're eating the bacon and they're eating all this stuff because they need to build up the protein and they're finding that they're losing weight. First of all, remember what I said before. If you're losing weight on a high protein diet, think about what you're taking out in order to put that protein in. Are you taking out those more processed foods? Are you taking out the sugar stuff to try to get the protein in? That's why you're losing weight. Protein does not make you lose weight. Protein does not make you lose weight. Excess protein is stored as fat like everything else. That's just If you think about it, you ingest protein, your body breaks it up into glucose. Excess protein is stored as fat. Okay, so what are some of the risks of high protein? Too much protein can increase your risk of several age-related diseases. Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, Huntington's disease, and many other degenerative and neurodegenerative disorders. Because all of that stuff in our brain, everything's made out of protein. So we want times of deprivation for us to have autophagy, where we go into those damaged protein cells, damaged protein molecules, and we can pick them apart for good parts or get rid of them, those zombie cells, those senescent cells, those which cause oxidative stress in our body, those which lead to Alzheimer's and things like that. We want to get rid of those, not just keep adding extra protein, add extra protein. No, it's in times of deprivation that we will utilize those damaged molecules, those damaged protein structures for protein. Too much is too much. Too much is not good. So it can also lead to that accumulation and growth of senescent cells, like I said, the zombie cells. And it's in times of scarcity that we utilize that protein, pick it apart, restructure it so that it's good and it's not going to do that damage, right? Symptoms of having too much protein: dehydration, irritability, headaches, diarrhea, unexplained exhaustion, upset stomach, indigestion, bad breath. Serious risks of chronic protein overconsumption, liver and kidney damage, cardiovascular disease, blood vessel disorder, increased risk of dementia and Alzheimer's disease, bone loss, seizures, type 2 diabetes, cancer, death. Too much protein is not always a good thing. So we need to cut through the marketing bullshit and figure out, why are people telling us to do that? It's not so you can have big muscles, because big muscles are made in the gym, not in the kitchen. Okay, so we often unknowingly, right? We find ourselves in the middle of a diet that's marketed as cutting edge. This is the latest, greatest, high protein, keto. It's the latest and greatest. And we find that we are misguided again. Freaking sucks. I know. Makes me mad. So now what do? We have to learn to decipher these trends, right? Get back to eating real food. All of this is real food. Doesn't matter where it comes from. We can talk about my theory of predominantly eating vegetables. I want to get in as much vegetables as I can. A lot of people, they wake up with a mission. I'm going to eat a lot of protein today. I wake up with a mission. I want to eat all the fibrous vegetables I can today. It's different. It's really difficult to overeat vegetables. It's very difficult to over. So let's get back to eating real food, right? And that does not come in a box, in a bag. Free yourself from counting macros. Free yourself from counting macros. If you want to see what type of trend we're looking at, all you have to do is go down your cereal aisle. It'll say it right there. It'll say right there on the boxes. Go down the middle section of the supermarket where all that processed food is. Look at the marketing on the boxes. If you see the marketing on the boxes, you know we're in the middle of a fad. We're in the middle of a trend. It doesn't mean that it's the healthiest trend. We're in the middle of a trend. Okay, so learn to decipher those packaging. Stop counting your macros. Learn to recognize those buzzwords, right? The non-fat, low calorie, keto, gluten-free, paleo-free, high protein. Learn to recognize those and what psychologically that does to us in terms of purchasing them and eating more. I don't know about you, but in the 80s, I thought, one fat-free Fig Newton equals 3, or 3 fat-free Fig Newtons equals 1 regular. I could eat 3 now. Have you guys fallen for that? Because it's healthier, we think it's healthier, it gives us permission to eat more. We got to learn to decipher this stuff. I personally, let me tell you what I eat. Okay, what do I do? And then we'll call it quits for today, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. What do I do personally? I'm on a low protein diet. I get about 30 to 50 grams of protein a day. That's it. That's between between 0.3, I would say that's between a 0.3, I'm going to guess here, 3 and less than like a 0.445 grams of protein per pound. That's how much I get. So I get about 30 to 50 grams of protein a day. I don't count my macros. I only know this because I did a whole log on what I eat in a week without counting anything. And that's about what I'm getting. I do intermittent fasting for 14 to 16 hours a day, meaning when I stop my meal at night, and I'll have my snacks and I'll do whatever, but when I stop that, I don't eat again for another 14 to 16 hours. So I have an 8 to 10 hour window of eating. The reason why I do this is because it kickstarts your metabolism. It makes your body go into a state of ketosis. You reach into the fat cells for energy. In times of deprivation, which you are when you're intermittent fasting, you can clean up all of that cellular debris, right? Your body functions better. We're not supposed to have food at our beck and call in a pantry. We're not. That's not how our bodies were designed. We're designed to go long periods of time without food. Oreo cow breakfast. I personally don't eat breakfast. I just shift everything. So I work out on an empty stomach because I want to utilize my fat cells. I want my fat cells in my body not to just sit here and accumulate and accumulate and accumulate. I want them opening and closing. I want them releasing all that fat and then filling back up. Releasing all that fat, filling back up. So we've got very active fat cells. That's your body in a state of ketosis. Very active fat cells, utilizing fat for energy. You do that in times of deprivation. So when I get hungry, I use intuitive eating. I don't really look at the clock, but it's usually between 14 and 16 hours after my last meal. I drink a lot of different stuff. I break my fast with a mushroom coffee just because I love the fact that I've done some cellular restructuring and getting rid of those senescent zombie cells, and then I fill it up with some really good mushrooms that are great for brain health. So I break my fast like that, but normally I don't even drink my mushroom coffee because it has calories in it. I don't drink that mushroom coffee until 14 to 16 hours after my last meal. I drink an entire thermos of green tea, and we're going to talk about tomorrow, which I'm going to be in the kitchen tomorrow, but I'm going to talk tomorrow about polyphenols and about the good stuff that we can add in that helps, the green Mediterranean and high polyphenol diets. I'm going to talk about that in the kitchen while I'm cooking tomorrow. So I'll see you guys at 11 for those of you who have to go. But that said, so when I wake up in the morning, I drink a whole thermos of green tea, work out on an empty stomach, break my fast with a mushroom coffee, and then from then on, my main goal is how much vegetables can I get in my body. And I don't mean juicing. No. And I don't mean smoothie. You don't want to take the digestion. Your digestion starts in your mouth, not in your stomach. We're not newborns. We don't need to pulverize everything and suck it down as quickly as possible because it's more likely to be stored as fat, right? You want the fiber. You want all of that stuff. So for me, my first meal of the day is usually as many stir-fried vegetables as I can get, or like a soup. I do a lot of stir fries. I do a lot of soup, but how much vegetables can I get in my body? Right? So instead of like, how much protein? How many vegetables? Because vegetables have protein. And you don't need as much protein as what's being pushed on us right now. It's not healthy. It's not good for us. You might lose weight immediately, right away, on a high protein diet because you've substituted, you've taken out the other stuff, which is another concept that I have. Instead of thinking about stripping your diet of food that you love, add. Just keep adding as many vegetables you can, as much fiber as you can, as much water as you can. Add the good stuff. Don't deprive yourself of the bad stuff, but what you will find is it will crowd out. You will crowd out the bad. So add nutrient-dense foods first, then crowd out the processed stuff, right? I generally don't drink my calories. The mushroom coffee is probably the exception of that in terms of drinking calories. My green tea is basically caloric-free. And so I drink that whole thing in the morning. But in terms of like soft drinks or smoothies or juices, not the best for your metabolism. You've taken the fiber out of it. It's basically sugar. And the quicker that your sugar hits your intestines, your stomach, the quicker that sugar hits your stomach and you don't have the fiber to make that mesh in your intestines, the quicker that glucose gets pulled through that intestinal wall into your bloodstream, the more likely it's going to be stored as fat. I do a matcha green tea every morning, a giant thermos of it. So I probably have 5 or 6 cups of green tea. But in general, I don't do juices. I don't do smoothies. I don't do anything like that. Occasionally, if I really, really, really want a treat, I'll do, and I'm out somewhere and somebody offers me a latte, I'll do like an almond milk latte. But that is not my norm because I don't really like to drink my calories. You want the fiber. You want the fiber. I do take supplements. I take a multi, I don't have my multi here, but if you guys want like my multi supplements, you can just DM me the word supplements and I'll get you that link, or you can DM me no shot and you'll get the link to the Ozempic weight loss bundle. And then you can find my other products from that website as well. But I do take a multivitamin. I take my Nutramax. I take a K2D3 because I want the calcium that I'm consuming with broccoli and spinach and all my other stuff that I'm consuming. I want it directed out of my veins and arteries and into the bone, right? So a multivitamin, a vitamin K2D3, an omega-3, which is great for your heart, and a magnesium that's great for your brain. Those are the main supplements that I take. And I take stuff for sleep and I take different things like that. I do take hormones. Hormone optimization is super, super important because when your testosterone drops, women, we have more testosterone than we have estrogen, believe it or not. But when we go through hormonal decline, which usually starts happening in your 40s, sometimes you'll even start a little bit in your late 30s. But when you go through that hormonal decline, estrogen drops and testosterone drops. When testosterone drops, testosterone is helpful for muscle mass. So having your hormones optimized is not only good for your muscle mass, but your whole overall health, okay? And then it's not like I don't have processed food. You guys have seen me make my pies for Thanksgiving and Christmas. You know I can make a pie. I can also eat a pie. But when I do that, the way that I layer my food makes a big difference. So if I wouldn't just like on an empty stomach eat a piece of pie. That is going to really hit your bloodstream really quickly. It's not going to be great for your metabolic health, and it's going to be stored as fat. So the way that you layer the food, vegetables first, fiber first. This is my fiber lean. It's part of the Ozempic weight loss bundle, the fiber lean. But I don't necessarily take this because my weight is pretty not normalized, but my weight is pretty optimized. That's the word. Optimized based on my lifestyle. But when you are wanting to lose weight or you feel like you're resting, you've been told that your fasting glucose level is above 90, that's when, instead of getting the Ozempic or the Ozempic weight loss shot or Wegovy, that's when you can do more natural things like this. So you guys could just DM me the word no shot and I'll get you that product, that link to the products. But I do eat processed food occasionally. I mean, I'm human, right? And we have I don't know what's going on with my hair. We have a lot of food-centric holidays, and I don't deprive myself, but I make sure that I'm having all the fiber first, then I'm having, the proteins and the healthy fats, and then the fruits, and then the sugar. So the way you layer stuff really creates like this mesh in your intestines so that your blood glucose levels don't spike like crazy. So the mesh from the fiber comes from plants. Fiber does not come from meat. Fiber comes from plants. So plants first, right? Get all the fiber in there, creates this mesh. So the way that glucose then pulls through the small intestines into your bloodstream is mitigated and slowed down. The slower you can get your glucose to pull through and to get your bloodstream into your bloodstream, the more metabolically healthy you are. Does that make sense? I take the testosterone cream. And I'm on a testosterone cream, a DHEA cream for somebody who just asked, Trisha. I'm on a testosterone cream, a DHEA cream. I do an estrogen drop and a progesterone drop under the tongue. So that's where I am right now in my hormonal health journey. Everybody's different, but hormones do play a part in healthy weight management. Okay, so I eat my foods in that order. Like I said, the fiber first, then the protein and healthy fats, then the starchy carbs like potatoes, things like that, rice, then fruits, then sweets if I have them. And if you had to force my hand, if somebody said, what diet do you adhere to? I call it the real food diet because it's real food. It's predominantly plant-based, not vegan, predominantly plant-based. I'm basically dairy-free because dairy causes a lot of inflammation. I never really understood why we're drinking the milk that was designed for a baby cow. Honestly, it makes no sense to me whatsoever. It's made to fatten up baby cows. Why are we drinking it? That's marketing. That would be marketing, my friends. But if you had to twist my arm and like, okay, what diet do you do? I would say I eat real food, single ingredient foods that are predominantly plant-based. So as much plants as I can get, small amounts of meat, and very, very, very limited dairy. I'm not, I usually tell them if I'm at a restaurant, I'm allergic to butter or just so they don't put the dairy on, but limited amounts of dairy I've found have been okay for me. And tomorrow I'm going to really kind of talk about that green Mediterranean high polyphenols diet, high polyphenol diet, because that's literally basically what I'm doing, right? Predominantly plants, lots of colorful, diverse types of plants, small amounts of meat, high fiber. That's basically what it is. I'm going to talk about that tomorrow, but it's that crowding out method, right? If you guys learned nothing else, throw this away, throw it, stop counting your macros, realize that you're getting enough protein. And why is it that people are losing weight on high protein diets? What are they crowding out? So instead, all the vegetables you can eat, small amounts of meat, nuts, seeds, legumes, all of that kind of stuff, lentils, all of that, tons of water. And then you've made a lot less space for, that pack of Oreo cookies that you wanted to eat. Eat the other stuff first. Okay, that's all I have for today, you guys. I'm going to be in the kitchen tomorrow. We're going to be making something that's we're going to talk about polyphenol diets. We're going to talk about the Mediterranean diet, which all of the science shows is the number one diet in terms of longevity. And it's not a fad. It's been around forever, right? It's just the way of eating. So I thank you guys all for being here. I'm going to post this to my main feed. Please, if you want the Ozempic weight loss bundle, just DM me the word no shot, 2 words, no shot. If you'd like my collagen supplement that I love, this is the best collagen on the market. When a new one comes along that's not as good, I will jump ship and I'll bring you along with me and tell you. But just DM me the word collagen and you'll get that link. And then I'll see you guys tomorrow at 11 and I'll be in the kitchen. All right. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.